going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here, and it's going to log me in. And as you can see, this is our homepage. Click on creators right here, and this shows you all the CTN family members that are content creators. Everybody is on here. If you want to go to one of their YouTube channels, for example, if you want to go to Crypto Talk Now, just click on channel, and it takes you right over to the YouTube channel for that particular creator. And you click on community. This is our community right here. We do have a forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another. And there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators' live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on call now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up. Gills33, Miguel, all these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
Hello, everybody. As with you always, this is Max. Do another great news podcast today for XRP. Yes, XRP. Have you been checking out what's going on with XRP? We'll smash that like. We're going to get into a big saving in regards to the one and only Ripple's XRP. Glad to be here with you guys today. We're going to get into XRP. Obviously, we got some stellar. Just dropped about 4 hours ago. It's an exclusive interview with a particular individual you may not be aware of, but with the lovely Denell Dixon. On top of that, we have some XDC, we have some Quant, and of course, some Jasmine. Unfortunately, everything that's tagged will not get coverage because it'll be, the ultimate WrestleMania, but still going to be a great show, and glad to be able to tag all those communities. So let's jump into welcoming a few people from our lovely audience that we have here today. That covers part of my hat, but that's okay. I remember Larry used to have this problem too. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and welcome some people. Glad to have you here tonight. let's start off with the first comment of the day. And I do believe it comes from the one and only Josh Cornwell, JC the man. Glad to have you here, Mr. JC the man with the master plan. They call him Josh Cornwell, man, and I think you better recognize. All right. Nicholas Hayes. Hi, JC. You the man. Yes, he is the man. Brittany's here. Happy Tuesday to you, Brittany. Happy Taco Tuesday. Did anybody had Taco Tuesday today? Want to welcome also Tim Shea. I almost said, Boomer effing Sooner. That would be kind of weird, Tim freaking Shea. Glad to have you here, Mr. Tim Shea, the mayor of crypto, the crypto commissioner, representing the 589th district of the XRP Army. All right. KK's in the house. Stay strong. We are too close to give it away. Buy as much as you can and ignore the FUD. That's a good point. I like that. Welcome back to Mike. He says, hello, Quant is flying 97 to 117 in a week. Yeah, it is flying. I mean, that's pretty big. I should have took advantage of the 97. I did take advantage of, I think, about 105, but, I'm not beating myself up about it. Glad to have you back, though. KK says it takes about 2 years before you find out the fear and dips are your best friend. Good point. I want to welcome Mr. Larry. He's back in the comments, and I'm going to try my best to find that software that's going to help him get a new route. That way, he's not, when he's talking, it's like, and we're live, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. All right, Boomer F and Sooner. Hello, Sir Larry. Glad to have you here, Mr. Boomer F and Sooner, or as Crypto Smith would say, Mr. F and Sooner. Speaking of Crypto Smith, my goodness, there he is. He's back from vacation. Well, I hope you enjoy your Alaskan cruise. I believe that's what it was, and so on. Very cool stuff. Glad to see Mr. Crypto Smith is back in the house. All right. I also want to welcome Mr. Brian Dowie. Mr. Brian freaking Dowie. Wouldn't it be something if everybody in the comments changed their names to, instead of, Boomer F and Sooner, you're like Brian F and Dowie, Brittany F and Brittany. I don't know. Anyway, welcome, Brittany. I don't know. Don't necessarily do that. It might tick off the algorithm or something. Who knows? Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Welcome back, CTN fam. Glad to have you here, Mr. Lambo's CPR. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you didn't have to perform CPR on anybody lately, but if you did, hopefully you saved their life. Glad to have you here, Mr. CPR. I also want to welcome, it's also JC the Man on Twitch. Thank you for getting the Twitch algorithm going. Yes. Thank you, Brian Dowie, Max XRP on fire. All right. All right, Rivers in the house. Welcome back. The moose is loose. People used to say it to me. Some of my gamer friends would be like, what up, Mr. Maxi Moose? The moose is loose. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I want to welcome back Mr. Edward Vinson. Max, what up, y'all? Saying hello, everybody. Glad to see you, Mr. Edward. Apparently, a.k.a. Squidward, according to Mr. Mike Cornwell, a.k.a. Elon Muff. All right. Blackwood's in the house. He's giving a fist to everybody. Welcome back. John Francis, hot peppers and chips, baby. Max, hello. That sounds good. Want to welcome back Mr. Selmo Fudd is in the house. Glad to have you here, Selmo. And we're going to get into the news and whatnot here in a bit. Going to welcome one more guy, and that is the one, the only, the Crypto Jedi. Check him out on his channel for the Crypto Jedi, and you'll hear the best Yoda impersonation you probably ever heard. All right, we're going to kick it into what we have for some of the coverage, what we have for you guys tonight, and glad to basically, be here to do it. All right, let's get into what we have, and we're going to start things off with, I don't know, a guy who just doesn't really like most communities, but he's a good guy as far as his research. And that's the one and only Crypto Hulk. All right. So Mike Cornwell, CTN sideline reporter, basically has this to share with us. And no, I'm not going to do the breaking news CTN style thing right now because we're already into it. But Mike says, breaking, I found another version of this crypto. How was made? No way. All right. Well, this is from Crypto Hulk. Let's go ahead and play this. Interesting stuff. Here we go.
Check this out. So I think there was another version of this made. Okay. Got to talk in code here. So this is a gold backed. It's called this. The same person, an undisclosed blank millionaire who helped bring blank to critical mass, has joined the advisory board for that crypto right there. And of course, guess who's involved in it? It's a gold-backed version of you know what. There's 25 million of them. This is Crypto Hulk. I got a live stream coming up, okay? Coming up in about 30 minutes. I would highly suggest watching it. They made 25 million of these. They're gold-backed, and the same person that had something to do with this one has something to do with the brand new one. Just thought I'd let you know I got a live stream, Crypto Hulk on YouTube. Need to check it out.
So I will have to check it out. I have to check out some of the review on that and see what we can gather with that. Maybe he has broken it down in video format. You never know. We'll take more of a look into that. We're just gonna welcome a few more people. Let's see here. We also have, I believe, the same guys. Oh, GS came. Okay, welcome GS. Didn't see you for some reason, but glad to have you here, Mr. GS. Yes, Mr. Max it effing Mus. All right. Let's get into what we have next in regards to all this, and we'll use Mr. Selmo's comment as a bookmark. So let's jump into a little bit more of what we have. There's quite a bit, to say the least. All right. So, that was from Mr. Mike Cornwell. So on my list for the top 100, I saw some of these things kind of popping off. Singularity in it, right? Up about 17% for the week. Obviously, Quant is doing really well. You guys pointed that out. I think it was Mike, right? But XRP is really, really shining. Doing very, very well. Up about 13% for the week. But, what's the consistent thing you guys have seen here? Whether it's Singularity Net, Quant, and so on. These are all utility-related cryptos, or they have something kind of use case, whether it is Quant, whether it is AJAX, whether it is obviously XRP, some metaverse ones like the Sandbox. I hold the Sandbox. I don't talk about the Sandbox much, but, I do hold a bag of that. Here's my GRT. It's doing pretty decent, right? Up about 10% for the week. Filecoin, even though, all that thing about the SEC coming after Filecoin, basically, like, is it going to be a security and all that? Let's face it, guys. It's the SEC. They're going to go after anybody and everybody when it comes to, what they think is going to be a security. I know some of you guys are soured on, Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, but I did listen to a little bit of his replay from his live, and he did a good job of pointing some of this out. Basically, the SEC, Gary Gensler is going to go after anything and everything when it comes to, whatever he feels as though is deemed as a quote unquote security. I mean, are we supposed to believe that out of 22,000 cryptos, we understand that 99%, like in the future, will go away. We'll probably get left with maybe anywhere from 100 to 400, something like that. And we're supposed to believe that, the only one that's not security is basically just Bitcoin because he, rules with his iron fist. That's ridiculous. I'm glad to see Filecoin is going against the grain of the narrative of quote unquote, security, right? And I'm still obviously, I'm reinvested basically into Filecoin. I got reports from some of you guys, won't name who you are, who you are, who told me personally that you got into Filecoin and so on. And at the entry points that some of you guys came in at 440, 445, you're up right now and you're happy about that. Why wouldn't you be happy about that? All right, so let's jump into a little bit more in regards to this whole thing about XRP and why it's basically on the uprise. Now, roughly about 15 minutes before the show started, I found this, and this was from Cointelegraph, right? And if anything, I mean, let's face it, there's a difference between crypto Twitter, what's reported, and there's also, of course, the difference of, what's mainstream news and so on. But, Cointelegraph, I think, for the most part, is not too shabby, right? I'll go with it. They realized I was out of the frame for a bit, but that's okay. Smash that like, guys, if you haven't done so already. Let's try to get the show out to like a little bit more of a base, broader base, and so on. Currently speaking, let's see. I think we only have like 15 likes or something like that. We should definitely have a lot more. We have 14. Somebody decided they didn't like us anymore. But that's okay. we need to get this more out because we kind of lost a little bit of momentum. When I was having problems with my camera and all that stuff too, it's like that darn algorithm. You got to try to please it, putting out like 1 to 3 videos every day, live shows every day, shorts and all that stuff. So I know we kind of lack with the shorts, but bottom line is this. Why is XRP price up today, right? Some people are wondering about that. You see a random spike, you're like, well, what happened with that? We have some answers for that for you. So XRP's daily active address count has soared to its second highest level in May, raising traders' anticipation for a price rally. I saw some other reports the other day. I think even Larry mentioned it to me that, what was it? Zach Rector was reporting, we could get a resolution at any point. You saw some other outlets. I don't know if it was Verson, but, there's a collective group of quote unquote top influencers of the XRP army reporting that they feel as though this whole thing, this SEC case is going to wrap up soon. I know we've been saying that for a while. It's like, are we keep playing that song, not like our theme song, but, singing a song. Is it the XRP song? Well, hear us out. In regards to this, it does seem like it's going to resolve soon. How soon will that be? Are some of these guys right? So before we get into all of this, did you know that XRP rose 6% to 51 cents on May 30th? Basically, that's today, as the market's attention turned toward the latest spike in XRP network activity. And look what it says here from Sediment. It says basically XRP network has now had its second and third largest address activity spikes of all time, guys, these past 2 days. All time in the last 2 days? Is that not bullshit? I mean, if we get this thing a win for, Ripple, oh my goodness. People talk about like, even if you're not invested into Ripple, could this be the jump that we all need? And we're not even to the Fed pause yet. I know that I've been mentioning that quite a bit. We're not even to that. I mean, if this thing could be just right, oh my gosh, it'd be the perfect story. But as we know, things don't happen all on the same day. But like it says, a mild plus 4% decoupling has emerged between XRP and the altcoin pack. And if history repeats itself from March 18th, activity spike, it could be more. Kind of like Billy Mason back in the day. But wait, there's more, right? So you guys kind of see what's going on with that. We're going to point out some of those things. I also want to mention some of this. Do you know XRP's daily active addresses count near a record high, right? The XRP network witnessed a sudden increase in the daily active addresses, DAA, the number of unique addresses involved in XRP transactions daily. Now, I understand some new people, you're like, I don't know what DAA is, and it's okay. That's what, one thing that we do. We report news, report education, we give it to you all, right? So in regards to DAA, basically in a nutshell, if you're wondering what that means, it means daily active addresses. In short, is basically what's referred to. Now, as far as like the definition, DAA simply put means the number of unique crypto addresses interacting with, sending, or receiving a particular coin on a daily basis. As such, DAA is one of the best on-chain proxies for measuring the amount of users and the overall level of network activity, making it an extremely valuable indicator in cryptocurrency evaluation. Yeah, sounds pretty darn impressive. So what is this whole thing in regards to XRP? As we jump back to this, you will see, for instance, on May 27th, around 490,000 addresses, guys. Listen to this, especially if you hold Ripple's XRP, or you're a guy that, is kind of speculative on, you may only hold, like, for instance, XLM. We get it, right? Listen to this. Around 490,000 addresses interacted with the XRP network. Were you aware of that? That amounted to the second largest address activity on the XRP blockchain. We're making history right here. So this is big, big stuff. That amounted, I should say, to the second largest address activity on the XRP blockchain, just 3 months after establishing the record DAA count. Now that we know what it is, I did, but some of you guys might not have, and it's okay. Count of 880,000 according to Data Resource Admin. Here is a representation of just like what you saw what happened. March 18th, largest ever address activity spike, plus 45% price surge the following 10 days. I mean, there's always these moments, if you will, where you could see, for instance, a breakout. Now, there's a guy on crypto Twitter. I wasn't necessarily following him. I don't necessarily give you guys all the, technical analysis type of thing. I don't really do this, but we're going to get into what he found on some of his findings here in a bit. But look what also mentions, it's really impressive. Like I mentioned, second largest, right? Activity all time, 490,000 addresses interacting on network. You can see where some of this is pointed to. I mean, I know we have Edward Vincent here. He probably already recognizes this. Shout out to him. Does a good job on the TNA. But look at this. Interestingly, right? The DAA surged to a record high in March, like we mentioned, preceded a 45% price rally. But this is primarily, like it says, because of how the market interprets the DAA indicator. It considers a rise in active addresses as bullish for the concerned token, obviously XRP. Conversely, a drop in active addresses is considered bearish. Nonetheless, history presents the DAA indicator as a flawed one. They got to recognize that. For instance, spikes in XRP's DAA count between November 2021 and April 22 coincides with the token's price decline. But in reality, what's the real factors of this? The real factors of this because what happened with the SEC, right? So I want to point out some of these things to you guys because it's definitely worth pointing out. We're going to get back in the comments here in a bit. But what I want to show you is this finding that I found on crypto Twitter. And this guy, his name is JD, right? I can't give him a follow because I guess I'm following like the max of what you can follow. So I have to clean it up. Well, check out what he mentioned. He says gasp. You're like, oh my gosh, right? Here's what you should pay attention to. Whether you hold XRP or you're on the cusp of getting it or you're just, speculative about it. It says, let's remember what happened in 2017. Yes, let's think about that for a second. When the symmetric triangle 2-year trend line broke out. Now, this is why I'm bringing it to your attention. You guys know me. I don't normally do these types of things. This is important. This is worth paying attention to. XRP did a 504x, which took 1 year from confirmation breakout to that swing high of 2018. Ooh, oh my goodness. Were you aware of that? Well, some of you guys have been in XRP for the longest time. Yes, you are aware of that. Shout out to Samo Fudd. Shout out to, for instance, Crypto Smith. Some of you other guys have been holding this for the longest time. I have retweeted this. I have liked it, right? It's good stuff. I want to show it a little bit bigger because you need to see it a little bit bigger. And if anything, I'll come out of the frame for just a brief bit just to give you guys a little bit more of a heads up on this. Please smash that like. Let's get this show out to broader base. But, basically speaking, I mean, there it is. Where is this significant? Look at where it's significant. I mean, you can see, and I'll try to make this even just that much more bigger. Give me just a second. Yeah, let's share this tab instead. And on this, right? Like, my God. It's unbelievable. It says gasp. Let's remember, like you said, what happened back in 2017. We cover this, but that 2017 trend line, 2-year trend line, like how it's broke, then boom, 504x in 1 year. Look at this on this trend line too. 2-year trend line breaking. That's basically what's going on. Once triangle breaks, is go time. Yeah, absolute go time. You know what's also go time, you guys? The whole thing with the Fed pause. I'm telling you flat out, if we can get I always say this, the crypto trifecta. This is a different trifecta. We get a Ripple win. We also get a Fed pause, right? And we get this trend line completely breaking. It's just going to be unbelievable. This heads will spin or faces will melt or, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but I do recognize what's going on. It says, make sure to calculate profits on the way up. I don't know. For me personally, I mean, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. A lot of people are going to take some profits. There's nothing wrong with this. I will agree for the most part with most people. And that is, don't marry your crypto. You're always hearing that, right? For me personally, XRP, Quant, XLM, those types of ones, right? I may marry it for a very, very long time. Why would I do that? Because if anything, I will earn interest in the future. And that's just the way I look at it. I'm not saying I don't want to come across as a content creator like some of the top influencers. You know who they are. You know, the guys back in, who made a ton of money with Shiba Inu. And they basically told, their following, I never sold a single token. Really? At all-time highs? Why aren't you selling some tokens? Why aren't you taking some profit? That's a different thing. That has currently not much utility at all. Right? We're trying to get Shiba Inu. This is XRP we're talking about. So we're going to leave this up here for a bit. Very, very cool stuff to see what's going on with Ripple's XRP. We're still going to talk a little bit more about XRP. It's definitely making the headlines. But we're going to get back in the comments in a bit because I want to recognize some of you guys and your questions, your comments, and so on. But by all means, smash that like. Glad to have you guys here tonight. Let's try to get to 40 and up. That'd be really, really cool. If we don't, we don't. Sometimes people just take a break from crypto news and all that stuff. So one of those things. Let's go ahead and welcome once again, River. I gave you a shout earlier. I said the moose is loose, but let's welcome JDat13. He says, what up, Max? Love your Jasmine content. Well, I love that you love our Jasmine content. How about that? We do appreciate you coming over from, obviously watching recorded videos and watching the live is much appreciated. We will have some Jasmine content for you here in a bit, but the big player of the day is obviously Ripple's XRP. And let's face it, a lot of you guys who hold Jasmine also hold XRP. So, I think there's community love here, to say the least. But let's welcome you. Let's welcome JDat13. JDat, consider changing your avatar or something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about. But yes, we have a very welcome community, and I do appreciate you being here. On top of that, let's see here. We got Brian Dowie says XRP is just warming up, and it is, man. It's exciting times. I know for some people are like, why are you so excited about XRP at 51 cents? Wouldn't you be, more excited about it, at like $100 or $1,000? Well, of course. But understand this, it's kind of like guys with their weight loss, right? Not applying to me. God knows I need to still lose some, and I'm trying, I'm doing more of a routine. But it's the saying goes like, are we not going to recognize the guy that lost like 10, 20 pounds, right? Are we only going to recognize or give him a pat on the back? Because the guy lost 100 or something like that? No. Crypto, for instance, we're going to recognize milestones. We're going to recognize the big steps, the big trend lines that we're breaking and so on. Why not? So yes, I agree. It is just warming up and so on. The Crypto Jedi, my last paycheck, I purchased Quant at 100, so now I have 28. Man, nice, very, very nice. Some of my goals right now is I would love to be able to do some crazy things. All right. I have not hit my goals for Quant yet. I will, though. I'm not worried about that. Whether we're at, for instance, me buying it at $90 or $80 or $100 and so on. I'll eventually get to the point where, hey, you know what? I'm satisfied with what I stacked in my portfolio. And now it's just time to focus on Quant, for instance, because I am not going to make the biggest deal, to be honest, about Quant going to like $200 and basically beat myself up like, oh, Quant is at 200. I should have bought, a whole bunch of it at 90 or 100. It's a long-term play, and I would DCA the living heck out of Quant. So I'm not sweating it, but I'm glad that you recognize those opportunities. So shout out to you and a dab from the metaverse to you, my friend. Glad to see Quant is doing well. Quant Papa basically gave me some reports in regards to Quant, and we'll get into that in a bit. But it's cool stuff to see active communities, see people recognizing the opportunities and so on. Smart move, not financial advice. Yep, I agree. Wayne Side's in the house. He says, team serves up, go XRP. Glad to have the one and only Wayne Side in the house. Appreciate you. I did see we ticked up to 45. If you haven't hit the like, do so. We can maybe tick up to 50. Glad to have everybody here. I know some other shows are going on as we speak, and that's okay. All right. So this is a question for him. That's fine. Your goal is to have 30. Nice. Yeah, I want to, originally I was like, I need to make my goal of like 20 Quant. But yeah, I'm setting my goals for long term, even higher than that. But I don't want people to freak out. Everybody has their own personal preference, like just because you may hear me or some other person say like, hey, my goals are 30 Quant or 50 Quant or whatever. Like, you got to do what's best for you and your family and what you're comfortable with. And if you see, for instance, Quant region some crazy prices of 50,000 a coin or 100,000 a future and so on, then are you really sweating not having like 100 Quant? Probably not, right? For some people, like, they want to see quant go to 10,000 and they may have 100 quant. It just all depends on some of your own personal goals. Wayne Side says, what about the idea that XRP price is already established and it is in the thousands? Yeah, what about it? I think I know what you're referring to. So Verson Alarja was talking about that in the past, that he, I guess, had a friend of the family or something. I actually kind of believe him. I mean, he has backed up some of his, his quotes or findings and so on. He is definitely connected to an inner circle of people who, worked with central banks and so on. I do believe him. I don't think he has any reason to make some of that stuff up because he has clearly backed it up. And it has been mentioned that some of this has been established and it's way higher in the thousands than most people, think. And that's like where I'm looking at this, like, man, where we allocate our funds, it's like we want to recognize in the short term, like for instance, like one of the things I did recently, with Jasmine, right? I was like, I want to get at least 1 million Jasmine, right? I'm already halfway to that goal. That's just for me personally. That's not, this is not a pissing contest. I don't want people to think that. But I was recognizing the prices. When Jasmine dropped down to 0.0045, I was like, that's ultimate opportunity. Why? Because I came in at basically 0.006263, something like that, which is still a buy. Don't get me wrong. But that's the power of the DCA, All right, so let's go further down. QNT to reach 100K someday, we hope. I think so, man. I mean, like I always mention, if Bitcoin was able to go to 69K with no utility, or should I say no utility, virtually not much, right? We understand it's a store of value. We get that. But if it's able to do that, what about the one with, interoperability for 100 plus blockchains, and what they got going on with APIs, you name it. Not only that, the metaverse, healthcare. How about this? Gilbert Verdian's wife, Laura Verdian, her robust healthcare background. I did a deep dive in regards to that. I mean, I did okay on the views, but sometimes I think just people, they just want to see insane price action, not realizing that we're going to get there. We're going to get there with mass adoption and so on. It's more than the glue that sticks. JDAT, it's definitely possible with a lower supply than Bitcoin and absolute utility. All right. Elon Muff, welcome. He says, Maximus. Yes, welcome to the Muff. Your next paycheck, you'll buy more Jasmine or Bone. Cool. Very cool. John Francis, you think XLM's a sleeping giant? I do too. That's consistently my number 3 of my top 10. I might do a video on my top 10 sometime. I've gotten some requests about that. I think most of you guys already know what some of those are anyway. Let's go further down. I want to welcome the one and only Darren Crumbleholm. Good evening, CTN gang. If I'm not mistaken, you're the guy who says gang. Anyway, smash that like if you haven't done so. Let's welcome Darren. Glad to have you back. We all love some TNA, and especially the lovely Eva Savajou Le Machali. Even though she's Greek, she's a Greek goddess, and she's more than welcome to come onto our show. Isn't she, Tim Shea? Yes, she should come on the show, and it'd be a wonderful, wonderful time with the lovely Eva Savajou Le Machali. All right. JDAT says, you think we have a few more months of these Jasmine prices need to hit 1 million goal? I don't know. The way I look at it is I don't think we're going to have, I should say, I don't know. Maybe briefly. I think we will only have these prices if things get delayed in Japan, right? So obviously, DFFT is going to happen like later this year. More in the implementation, like Tarakono was mentioned. And okay, so there's that, right? But the other things is like, do we get a delay for stable coin debanding? Okay, that would probably maybe suppress some of the Jasmine prices. Do we get a delay on Fed pause? Will there not be a Fed pause? Okay, that obviously is going to affect the price of Jasmine, not necessarily intentionally, but it will. And why is that? Because it goes in correlation with, for instance, Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? If those do well, Jasmine does well. So Fed pause is going to be a big, big help. You got to keep in mind when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know I keep saying it and it sounds like a broken record. We are not to a utility run yet. So these figures, you have to basically consider it. and that is Bitcoin and Ethereum represent roughly 80 to 81% of the overall crypto market. So those both do both, well. You've seen on the charts. The charts does not lie when it comes to that. Jasmine runs a correlation between the two on the 90, 60, 30, 14-day chart, 7-day chart, 24-hour chart, and even the 1 hour, 1 minute chart. That's worth mentioning. So what's going to happen? Well, we have to base some things on that. Is it great that we have some great positive catalysts and some new news to share? And we'll get into some of that news. Yes, absolutely. It's great. The combination of supply and demand, all those things are big factors. I don't really, you guys are going to think this is shocking. I will get credit where credit's due. So MMAI, oh my God, Max has mentioned MMAI. Let's hear me out. Think about supply and demand, right? So during the time of BTC and, the overall market and so on was down, right? We know that. The overall market has been a little bit down, right? But there was the whole thing of Ledger, right? And some people were getting out of Ledger, like, the hell with Ledger. I hate this update. This is Ledger's supposed to be about being your own bank and all that. Yeah, we get that. Some people didn't like the idea of this third-party software, so people jumped ship. Like even me, I'm looking, for instance, I think Citadel Wallet is going to really shine in the future from Hedera. I'm just throwing that out there. I see that pathway forward. I see the pathway forward for when it comes to the whole concept of what they're trying to solve with, like, if you lose your seed phrase, they're like, we got you. You know what I mean? That's like Dr. Lehman Baird scientist level stuff where they have something like that. That's huge. That will create even that much more demand for Hedera in the future when they saw that. Now, just hear me out. So we saw that pump for MMAI, for instance. I think it was like up over 50, maybe it touched 70% for the week. I give credit where credit's due. Why is that? Because of the Pure Wallet. You guys may think I don't follow any of this stuff because, let's face it, we got a little burned by them and so on. The point is this. I will get credit where credit's due because of that Pure Wallet. And a lot of people look at like, hey, you know what? Ease of access, I can just store this on my phone. That's pretty big. You know what I mean? So I'm not a big fan of Mr. Cha, but you want to know something? The product speaks for itself, and that's cool stuff. And you did see that pump. So do we get some of the in demand, for instance, with Jasmine moving forward? Yes. And we'll get into the whole topic of, Evita, these blockchain PCs, secure PCs, and so on. So I do get credit where credit's due, whether I'm a fan of certain people behind, like the projects and so on. All right, let's go further down. I want to welcome back Mr. Abdul Jawad. He says, let's go, Jasmine. Always appreciate you, Abdul. I always see you in the comments for the recorded videos. You're awesome. Appreciate you, brother. If you guys are just connected to the show, please smash that like button. It does help with YouTube algorithm. I see that we're roughly at 30. We have over 50 people watching. Actually, yeah, okay, we're at 30. So we could get a few more likes. We really appreciate it. Let's go further down. Crypto Jedi says 150 Jasmine and then hit $1 per Jasmine. Michael Montclair says, I'm at 60K trying to get 100. You'll get there. You already reached and smashed some of your other goals for like XLM and so on. So again, guys, it's all about like, just because like I'll talk about Jasmine and I'm like, oh man, I reached some of or halfway towards my goals. My original goal was like, for instance, 200,000 Jasmine. I smashed that. I want to get to some of the other goals. Some of you guys haven't reached some of my other goals for certain coins, like for instance, Jasmine, like Michael Montclair's point out. But you probably done a lot better than most when it comes to some of your goals for what? XLM or some of the other ones. So again, it all depends on like what ones you believe that you need to put more emphasis on. And maybe you guys do put more emphasis on, for instance, like XLM because it's under 10 cents. We know that's roughly around the 8.5 cent level. So there's all sorts of different reasoning when it comes to the digital assets that you're trying to acquire based off of what sale prices. Again, the power of the DCA. Andrew Davis, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. And let's see here. I think that's a picture of you and your kid. That's cool, man. Glad that you shared that. That is very, very cool. Welcome back, Mr. Andrew Davis. Glad to have you here. All right. I'm going to get into just a couple more comments. We'll kick it back to what we have. I do see that we have a super chat that came in. Let me just bookmark what I have. It came from Salamander, XDC Commander. Thank you so much, Mr. Salamander. Let's go further down into that and recognize Salamander. Let's see how long ago that came in. It came in at 6:48. It is now 6:55. It's only about 7-minute delay. He states XRP, XD DC, Jasmine, Quant, LCX, XLM, HBAR. So just give you guys a heads up, and thank you again for the 589 super chat. That's very cool how you did it that way, right? Because we're always talking about 589 with XRP. So yes, thank you again, Salamander. But these right here, I was mentioning about my top 10. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's already 7 out of my top 10 right there. And there's about 3 left. And I'll get into like a video, maybe I'll do this week, talking about just like some quick use cases and why I feel that these are great, going into like not just a bull run but utility run, and why they're my top 10. A lot of you regulars already know why, but anyway. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it into the news, but after I read this, Max, did you do a deep dive on Gilbert's wife? Nice, bro. Oh God. All right, yeah, thank you. I don't mess with other people's wives though, but yes, thank you very much. Anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and jump into a little bit more of what we have for Ripple's XRP. Obviously, I showed you guys this whole thing about some of these definitions, this chart, which is good stuff. I think people would appreciate that. All right, we're talking about Verson Larja earlier. You guys should be familiar with him. If you're not, like, I don't know what you're doing. No offense. There's certain people you got to follow when it comes to XRP. Even Crypto Hulk, let's be honest, right? Like he bashes communities. He's all for himself, right? And that's okay, I guess. But you gotta get credit where credit's due. The guy does it like no other when it comes to the research, right? And that's why a lot of us watch and we appreciate that. So, there's people like that, right? But there's also people like Verson Larja. There's people like Lewis Jackson. There's people like Coach JV. These guys are worth following because they consistently bring it big time when it comes to Ripple's XRP and some other things. So let's get into this for a brief bit. Verson says institutional utility of XRP is on the horizon, and this will shatter price barriers and propel this digital asset to unimaginable heights. That's the way I personally look at it. Like I'm not telling you what to do. By all means, if you're the type of person you want to take profits along the way, do that. I'm not taking profits at $1 for XRP. I'm not taking profits at $10. That's me personally. Please do not let me as a influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it, prevent you because you're like, well, Max said that he's not doing this, so I'm not going to do, my gut or whatever. You got to do what's best for you. Again, we're all adults. We got to do what's, for our best interest, for our family and so on. For me, like I said, there's about maybe 3 or 4 different cryptocurrencies where I'm somewhat married to, but that's just me. And that might be some of you, but I realize for the majority of people, they're not going to do that, okay? For me, being invested into about 47 to 50, again, I have to count at different cryptocurrencies, it alleviates the pressure of, hey, I have to dump all this, right? Because, for instance, like Filecoin, right? I got plenty of Filecoin, so if it goes up to new all-time highs, which I do believe it will, and supersedes that, I'm more than good. There's some other projects that I'm more than good on. You know what I mean? Like Jasmine, for instance. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to, marry Jasmine. Maybe partially, like I'll have a moon bag. But yeah, you better believe at $1, I'm going to take profits when it comes to Jasmine. Anyway, let's get back to this. So institutional utility of XRP is on the horizon, and this will shatter price barriers and propel this digital asset to unimaginable heights. XRP network activity hits record-breaking levels, mega rally ahead, and we pointed out some of this. If you guys were late on that, you can rewind if you choose to do so. But I'm glad Verson is bringing it, the information. So let's get into a little bit more of what he has. So he points out that the ECB is warning that financial institutions could see stressed liquidity due to heightened economic uncertainty. XRP is going to play a crucial role in providing a bridge to overcome the challenges faced by financial institutions. Again, what are some of those challenges of financial institutions? Well, here is something that got brought up, and I want to give this lady a shout out. It's Randy of, she is My Teen Crypto. She's basically not a teenager anymore, but she's a lovely young lady, very passionate about talking about crypto. She's been featured on 3T Warriors Academy before too. But one thing I do like about this girl is that she pointed out something very worth pointing out. And, what was it like? I think a little bit last week or so on when I was doing some, work with teaching and so on, you hear, for instance, in the break room, somebody that says, they don't believe in crypto, it's all a scam and all that, and like they're like a big proponent of, I'm just going to keep, I couldn't believe it. I'm just going to keep my money in the bank. And I had to speak up in regards to that. I said to myself, really, you have to keep your money in the bank? Well, how about this for size? All right, I don't mean no disrespect, but it's like, you're really going to keep your money. Don't get me wrong. I think we should all have a checking account because we have bills to pay, right? We're going to use fiat, right? But it's like, you're really going to keep your trust into a system, a failed system, right? The old traditional system. That old traditional system, we talk about proof of reserves. They don't have to have proof of reserves, everybody. You guys probably already know this, right? So it's like, they're literally, a lot of banks are operating off of, let's face it, like credit, or the hope and prayer that that they have vaults full of cash. In reality, that they don't. You know what I mean? It's just it's crazy. But in crypto, as we know, when it comes to these exchanges, well, what are they providing? They're providing some proof of reserves. And I know some people say, well, that's debatable, right? I get that. But with this whole concept of regulatory clarity and so on, you better believe that we're getting to the point where these exchanges will have to show actual proof of reserves. It's funny how we have a double standard. You're going to put trust in the old, TradeFi system that doesn't have to have these proof of reserves. Exactly. All right. So XRP is going to play a crucial role. We know that, right? It's just a matter of time. But anyway, ECB sounds warning over waning market liquidity as rates rise. Market and funding liquidity conditions are both deteriorating. They are. Central bank balance sheet reduction is an additional challenge. It is. Like this guy says, it's just a matter of time until the XRP, outperforms every asset out there. And we've seen people like FOMO in to, for instance, Bitcoin. People just don't know anything about crypto. No offense to them and so on, right? But FOMO money generates just what? A lot of money to boost market cap and so on. All right. I want to show you guys just a tad bit more of what we have on top of this. And that is a little bit more for XRP. You may be wondering, well, why is XRP dominating? Because it's doing really well lately in the market, and it's worth dominating the show. We do have obviously other coverage for you guys. Again, smash that like if you haven't done so already. I want to jump into this and shout out to the one and only John Deaton, right? So I would give him a follow, but like right now, it basically won't let. Can you believe that Twitter won't let me follow anymore because I'm maxed out like 5,000? I got to fix that. So, dear SEC Gov and commissioners who voted yes for the bogus lawsuit versus Ripple and XRP, if Fox Business is 100% right, the vote was 3-2 with Hester Pierce, who's this guy right here, or this lady, I should say, SEC commissioner since 2018, all right, and Elad Roisman voting no. Below is one of the amazing people you turned your back on and harmed, and why it's easy for me to get emotional, or why it is easy for a lot of us to get emotional, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, eventually it's kind of like this, right? We're going to get to the goals that we need. We're going to get to the life-changing money that we need. That's the way I personally look at it, right? It's not financial advice, but just how I personally look at it. You see, for instance, Hollywood movie stars or so on, maybe they cry because they're award, or a guy wins his first NBA championship. You guys know I'm a big fan of NBA basketball, right? It's an emotional time. You know what? I think we're going to have some of these emotions. I'm just throwing that out there, in the future, because it's like the struggle that you've gone through your whole life to get from, especially me. I grew up, I love my parents, but you know what? We did live in, like, I guess you could say, was classified as poverty. My dad was a very, very hardworking man, but he was a single income provider when we were growing up and so on. But the key thing is, for a lot of us, we want that financial freedom. We want to have a better life for ourselves, our parents, if they're still alive, our kids, and so on. It's going to be emotional, right? So it says basically right here, dear Mr. Deaton and team, I recently had the honor of shaking your hand in Las Vegas at the XRP conference. We know that was an expensive event, right? It just happened. Brad Garlinghouse was there. A lot of people were there. I'm one of the many XRP holders who are greatly appreciative of the efforts you have expended on our behalf. Without your work on this case, I would truly feel alone and helpless in this fight against a bully that I would have no chance to defeat if it weren't for the initiative that you took when you saw such an overreach by the SEC. No matter how this case ends, we'll be forever grateful for your leadership in the fight. Sincerely, of course, they're blocking out probably because the person that won't be doxxed, XRP holder, Lexington, Kentucky, right? And it's like that makes you so happy to see some of these things, right? At least it is for me. So I'm going to play something for you guys, and we'll jump back in the comments in just a bit. And basically speaking, it is in regards to John Deaton. And here it is, and this is just, I mean, it's not going to show you like why XRP is going to go to, $100 or more, 1,000, and some of these crazy price predictions. But if anything, we need this, right? So smash that like. This is the one and only John Deaton. This is only about slightly under 2 minutes. Here we go. We're going to play this.
There is a difference when, decentralized justice is great. And you all in the XRP community have been great. And when you have tens of thousands of people and you get emails, it's one thing. But Brad, at that conference, and I could get a bit emotional about this because it's sincere to me. When you have a 75-year-old woman, grandmother, come up to you and say, "Can I shake your hand?" Because I just thank you for fighting for us, for trying to give us a voice. And when you meet people like that over and over again, ranging from 18 years old to one lady in a wheelchair at 82, who came up to me to extend some level of gratitude, man, it's a different level. And it inspired me tremendously because these people these are hardworking people. Most of them are non-accredited investors. Some of them are developers who are just trying to advance their life and take advantage of this and change the world. And we have a government who's stepping on their neck, you know what I mean? And who's trying to prevent that and is not doing the right thing. And so I just want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to everyone out there that came up to me. Like, you touched me. It was the most humbling event that I've ever experienced, because deep down, you're not as good as everybody's claiming you are, or that how flawed you are as a human being. Right. And to experience that. So it overwhelmed me. And so,
all right, so it gets chopped off because it's crypto Twitter gets in 2 minutes, but you get the main point, and it's wonderful to see things like this. At least I think so. I'm going to jump back to this chart for you guys can still see it. I'm also going to jump back to what we also have. Here we go. Let's get back into the comments. Okay. So. I want to welcome a few more people. I'm glad, of course, Salamander, thank you again for the super chat, and again, welcome. I want to welcome JDat13. I did welcome you earlier, but you got an avatar. Right on, man. See, it helps, the picture, the avatar, right? That's a cool looking avatar. Right on. All right. CPR says so many opportunities to make millions. There is, and it's like. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's so many times I saw some other particular cryptocurrencies that were like on sale, and I was just like, well, it's like, again, with Jasmine, it's like, I believe this one's going to get me to the promised land maybe sooner than the others. All right. How long are we going to have these prices? Might not be too long. Well, then this is a better opportunity than this other one that's on sale. You know what I mean? That's just the way I personally do things. People don't necessarily do it the same way, and I get it. We all have our different reasoning. XRP is utility. Yep. All right. Menace states entry exit systems are going to be huge using the data democratization coin, DD. Only exchanges for Jasmine and is pegged to the yen. That's how I understand it. You understand it right. And for people who haven't done the proper research, and there's nothing against this, but hopefully they come around. It's a different type of situation in Japan. And that's why I put so much focus on the whole idea of data free flow with trust, DFFT. That is the pathway forward. And on top of that, this whole notion that, oh my God, the doom and gloom. Well, Max, I'm so confused. I don't understand. It's like there's Binance Japan going to be coming out, but we are in the innovation zone when it comes to, Jasmine and Binance, okay, guess what? Maybe we get a complete delisting, or maybe, CZ just absolutely backhands Jasmine all the way, and we don't even get on Binance Japan either. We're just, they're done, right? It's a done deal, and no Binance whatsoever, and the price tanks. Long term, I think we're still going to be fine, and the reason for that is because of DFFT. The whole concept is the pathway forward for understanding that we won't need these big exchanges. We just simply won't. Now, as far as decentralized exchanges and so on, okay, that's a different story. But this whole reliance, you got to keep in mind, is Japan, and they're going to have a different way about going about things, especially with this concept of DFFT. It is the pathway forward when it comes to regulatory framework, and to also get to that big next step, even for XRP. When it comes to regulatory framework, Japan is leading the way. I don't think enough people understand that. For you as a, for instance, a Jasmine holder, I think a lot of us understand that. I just wish more people would take a look into why Japan is just that. They are the ones leading the charge. All right, Max, big ups on your Jasmine Apple Sony deep dive. Well, thank you. Yeah, I've got some criticism about, like, one guy called me like, was it, basically saying I was retarded, because that's what he said word for word, basically, retarded, because I put $60, $60 per, what I put, $60, basically saying like per Jasmine, by 2030. I had an article to back that up, but I love it. I can always tell when a person, they just look at the thumbnail, but they don't watch the video. And I understand some people are not going to watch the video all the way anyway, because it's, I do long videos. Like I mentioned in the video, I'm a school teacher. It's in my blood. I'm also an instructor, right? When it comes to college, I'm not a full-time college instructor. I do sub, but the thing is, it's in my DNA. It's in my blood to do lectures. If people don't like it, I'm not gonna apologize for who I am. You know what I mean? And if anything, I think some people do appreciate it. And it's like, yeah, I probably should do some chapters and so on. And I got to get around to doing that properly. But the way I also look at it is I've taken the time to do a very long video. And sometimes it's that much more time consuming to obviously do the chapters. But I understand it's a complaint in the past when it came to chapters for the live show, because I do the WrestleMania type thing. And we do have a function to set up the chapters, but for whatever reason, it's not working. So I'm still looking into that. But thank you so much, Darren. I appreciate that, man. And big ups to you with your old classic phone. That's really cool, man. All right. Blackwood says, why is there a heart on that chat screen, and why won't it go away? What? Oh, I see what you're saying, because I hit a like, right? And then I retweeted it. That's oh, well, unless that's, maybe you're not talking about Twitter. You're talking about something else. I don't know. Pure Wallet will hold XRP from the get-go. Great tech. That's powerful. That's I will get credit where credit's due. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Mr. Shah. I think anyway, I'm not gonna get into that, but I will give him a credit as far as having a great utility with the whole thing of the Pure Wallet. That in itself, like when we originally reported, hey, you know what, these guys have a utility from the get-go. Some people probably were questioning that, but in reality, that was something that was always mentioned, and that I will give credit where credit's due. And I'm glad to see some of you guys who are holding this, because I know you, Tim, are a big proponent of it, and some of the other guys are big proponents of MMAI, and that's cool. And I would never try to flood people's bags or anything like that. Just because I have some personal problems with a certain person does not mean that a product is bad. For the same reason, and let's just be real, let's be adults about it, right? For everybody, for the same reason, like I never saw this movie. It's part of my bucket list. I should say bucket list. I'm not gonna kick the bucket anytime soon. Hopefully not. God, that'd be horrible. But like that movie called Ford versus Ferrari, right? We live in a society, we always have, right? Whether the internet has existed even longer, many years ago, where you're going to work with people in your lifetime, and you may currently do this as well. Like even as a teacher, I have to admit, there's some other teachers I'm not exactly big fans of, because they just, I don't know, just teach his own. But there's always going to be certain people that we work with that are quote unquote a-holes, or what's and so on. But at the same time, while they're jerks, or for the females, right? I'm not gonna say the word, but you get what I'm saying. They are talented, or they bring something to the table, or there's businesses in which they have complete jerks running the company, but they have fantastic products, right? That's the way I look at it when it comes to MMEI. So yeah, that doesn't change the fact that they have a great product. All right, John Francis, maybe they should invent like a fingerprint wallet. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You got to be very careful with that in itself when it comes to being able to take a screenshot with your phone. You know what I'm talking about in regards to that. And then there has to be a little bit more. I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but there's some reasons. They really got to come up with something a little bit better than what's on the surface. All right, let's get into a couple more comments. I keep tapping the heart. I can't help it. That's cool. Tim Shea says, counterparty that has just popped up on my screen today. Not a fan of the fingerprint wallet. That's why I didn't grab the decent. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's for everybody. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I'm just going to throw this out there. It's not going to happen necessarily anytime soon, but can we go back to this? What is the day today? Today is March 30th. Somebody stamp this. Hopefully I can remember this myself. I'm going to call it right now. Hedera is going to eventually lead the charge when it comes to hardware wallets in the future. I truly believe that they are going to be the one. I'm just going to call that out right now. I think the Citadel wallet is going to be the one. Like there was a moment in time where, not necessarily so much now. I mean, maybe, I don't know what the figures are. I think at one point, like, was it 90% of all holders of crypto? I should say all holders, but people that don't want their crypto on exchanges, like the go-to was Ledger, right? Now it might be like 60%, 60-40. I'm telling you flat out, I really truly believe, and you can mark this down for the future, stamp this video, whatever you want to do. Hedera with the Citadel wallet or something different, might be called something different in the future. They are going to get the job done for two main reasons, like I mentioned before. The whole concept of people losing the seed phrases and them being able to recover it, because they will. That's a tremendous amount of that's utility right there among all the other things that they bring to the table. And then just the compatibility. I think they're going to be the one, and I'm just throwing that out there. And as far as it, like, they get it done in a year, I don't know, but I totally think that in the future, we're talking about Ledger being at like a 90-10 split, if you will, on the ratio. I think at some point Hedera will be in that mix. And it's just like, watch out. If for instance Pure Wallet was able to do 50% up based off of supply and demand, people recognizing that, this is Hedera we're talking about. Like that in itself could be a major parabolic pump. Will that happen during a utility run? Will that happen during the 4-year cycle? We'll have to see. And that's why a lot of times when I see new news about Hedera with what they're doing with the Citadel wallet and so on, I like to bring it to you guys, because that is a hardware wallet. All right. Sorry about that. Let's get in a couple more comments. I'll read this. Max, any thoughts on Caspa? I have covered Caspa. Check out or somewhat of a deep dive, brief intro in the video section. I think I could just kind of bring that up in a second, just to show you where I'm going with this, and then I'll get back into the news, because I need to do so. But yeah, let's bring this up. It was Caspa. I did this maybe over a couple months ago, something like that. I don't know. But I definitely have it. Where is this on the list? Caspa, like the Boston way of saying Casper, to a sense, right? Let me see. Let's type in Caspa. There we go. All right. So this was 2 months ago. I did get a lot of views, but I did a brief intro / deep dive. I do think it's a good project. It is on my list to buy a bag. I know I should probably do it at these price levels, but again, you got to keep in mind, this was probably during a time where it was like, okay, well, what about these other opportunities? Like, I think maybe at the time I bought maybe some LCX, or I bought, maybe some more quant. I don't know. But yeah, I do think it's a good project. We have covered it in, there's a 15-minute deep dive intro. What do you want to call it in regards to Caspa? But I do think it's a solid project. And I am impressed with it and so on. I do think that it is possible, like, 2-bit, like he was mentioning, that he thought it would do 100x. I think it's very well possible it could do that as well. There's a lot of solid use case for it and so on. All right. Okay. How about this? Just one more comment, right? Give Common Sense Crypto some props. Yeah, I do give him some props. I just wish that when I gave him a compliment on a DM and he saw it, because you can see a person seeing it, like, at least give me a response back, whatever. Anyway, it's okay. All right. So we're going to kick it back to what we have on the news. Let's jump into this. I think it might be a tad bit more XRP. Let's see what's going on with this. So we shared this whole thing with John Deaton. Yep, this is the last part in regards to our XRP coverage for tonight, and then we'll jump into some Jasmine. This comes from the one and only Coach JV. We haven't necessarily shared any of his, tweets or anything for a while. Nothing against him, of course, but yeah, let's get into this. So I'm going to show you guys this from him. He states, pay attention to their narrative change. It could change your life if you know the game. He's always talking about the game. Well, what is this? This is actually 5 minutes, right? So that's kind of like my limit as far as that goes. But we're going to play this. This is great perspective. Smash it like if you haven't done so. This is from the one and only Coach JV, another guy that lives in the Phoenix area, right? He lives in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona. Some people who are kind of ghetto, what they call it up here? They call Scottsdale Snotsdale. I know it sounds pretty messed up. Anyway, here we go.
If you blink, you will miss it. Their narratives are changing so dramatically. But if you understand this, if you understand how this system operates, this could radically change your family's life. Now, the fact is, most people will only make it for the first 15 seconds of this video, and that's okay. I do longer form videos because on the back end, I share information that can be life-changing for people. Because we have to learn to practice patience. We have to learn to practice discernment. We also have to learn to practice that there is no get rich quick. You're looking this way, you're looking this way, you're chasing this meme coin, you're chasing this meme coin, and we're over here building solid wealth building strategies. Wealth is built through patience, persistence, knowing your investment thesis, and following the narrative. So we're going to listen to Jay Clayton. This is a gentleman that initiated the case against Ripple. Listen to what he says. These are all the people that were telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud. Well, maybe Jay Clayton, not specifically, but he did initiate a case against Ripple around XRP being a security and destroyed the crypto market and stalled it, stalled it for 24 months as he went to consult for a cryptocurrency fund. And now he sits on the board of directors for your bank bailing committees. So if you don't think this is all connected, you better wake up. So listen to what he has to say now about cryptocurrency. He's now all in for DLT and distributed ledger technology. But he's the one that initiated the case against Ripple around XRP being a security and slowed down the whole system for a moment in time.
Isn't the whole point of crypto to, preserve anonymity for the owners of crypto? And how hard will it be if you did have rules like that in the US and other countries? Would crypto just disappear because a lot of people just wouldn't want to own it because the whole point for them is to stay off the grid?
Well, going back to a new technology creating risk, but also creating opportunity. Certainly there were crypto products that were designed to be anonymous and the like, and then, quite useful for nefarious activity.
Right.
Okay? But $100 bills, okay? People use $100 bills for nefarious activity. Are we going to shift from $100 bills to programmable money, where it's much easier to detect illicit activity? So both sides of this, I think the distributed ledger technology and what we've seen in stablecoin and the ability to, just program cash so you can trace it, that's a pretty powerful technology.
As they told you cryptocurrency is a fraud, criminals use it. He just told you right there. We can track this stuff. Programmable money. Fam, this has been the plan all along, and that's why they want you out of it, because you're very, very, very early. But here's the sad truth, and I'm saying this from my heart. I had to learn the hard way, is that a lot of you guys are going to get caught up in the hype train. You're going to try to get rich quick. and you're going to chase these pump and dumps, and you're going to build very unhealthy behaviors in your investment strategy. There is no get rich quick. This is your time to start to build your investment thesis right now when everything goes red the next 12 to 16 months. And it's your time to accumulate. And during that time, you should be working harder on building an investment thesis and investment plan, like an exit strategy. And when you exit the markets and you pull some profits, you don't go buy a Lamborghini or a Ferrari and show off like all these people online. You go put it into cash generating assets. You secure it into life insurance. And you start to build generational wealth with life insurance. You put it in things like precious metals and real estate, things that actually give you money back. And then you go buy the fancy things with the cash generating assets. The people truly making money aren't showing the things that they're buying with their money. They're often showing you the tools and resources on how they got the money. Don't be disillusioned by the cars and the houses, because if you really research how much people are making online and how many true millionaires there are and multimillionaires in the world, you'll be very disillusioned. Patience, persistence, a game plan, investment thesis, and the right community will change everything for you. If you grew up in poverty or middle class, you have to rewire your brain. That's the number one thing you need to do. If you go into a new asset class or a new investment with the same wiring, you're going to end up in the same behaviors. As my CFO says, if you have bad habits at $100,000 a year or $30,000 a year, you get $1 million in your bank account, you're going to have just more bills. That's it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope that you yield this message as love and frequency in trying to help as many people as possible develop financial freedom, because it starts here and it starts here. Warriors, rise, get your shit.
All right, glad to be able to show Coach JV obviously again. So we'll check in some settings. Sorry about missing a super chat earlier. It was at 7-Eleven. Sorry to keep you waiting. Normally, you know, that's the whole point of have a super chat. Boom, get your thing out there and so on. But I want to welcome Mr. Dev Woos, and, you know, consider change your avatar. Something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about, but it's okay. You don't have to. Thank you again so much for the $15 Canadian super chat. He states, this could be life-changing. Bet on XDC. Yeah, 100%. XDC is still very, very undervalued as far as I'm concerned. XRP, XLM, HBAR, Algo, Casper, all these are part of my top 10. Not taking any chances. He says, great work, bruh. Fire. Thank you so much, Mr. Dev Woos. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. You rock, man. Thank you. You know, I always try to thank people for the super chats and so on. It means a lot. And I hope to see more of you here, not just because you dropped a super chat, but you know what? Here at CTN, we're all about community and so on. And again, any questions or comments you have, our goal as a community is to try to have more and more people like yourself and so on, just simply here and attending and you know, joining up with the rest of the community when it comes to comments, or maybe you want to share something on crypto Twitter. You're more than welcome to do so. And I'm going to show you this just real quick. You can follow me right here at DPG Maximus. And if you tag me, I will do my best, you know, to show what you have. I might not do it every time, but for the most part, people who do tag me, or if they mention it here on the show, I'll try to pull it up, especially if it's something valid or helps with the flow of what we have. But if you want to be a CTN sideline reporter like the great Mr. Mike Cornwell or Henry Brown or Tim Shea or Brian Dowie, Coochie Boy, maybe I'm missing some other people. Michael Montclair, I think we do, you know, some of yours once in a while. Crypto Jedi, you guys know who you are. You're more than welcome to do so. So, guys, let's give Dev Woos the warm CTN welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you again so much for the super chat. Very, very well appreciated of that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is going to jump back into the comments, a little bit more of where we're at, and see if anybody else has some comments. Man, a whole wave of comments came in, and I can't pull that back up unfortunately, but I can go back to the next comment that was here. Brian Dowie's thanking you for what you did. Yep. Crypto Jedi says that he wish he could have gone to XRP Vegas, but my money is low right now. I hope to go to 2024 XRP Las Vegas and take selfies with Brad Garlinghouse. Yeah. Or maybe Cash Cats or Cash Cats. Yeah, Cash Cats. If you're here, Cash Cats, you too, man. I meant Joel Katz, aka David Schwartz. But you know what? I think we should all take pictures with the one and only Cash Cats. He's a good guy. Hope you're doing well, Mr. Cash. Anyway, hey, Cash Cats, you related to David Schwartz secretly, but you're spelling it differently. F and Max. You're talking about some of the other people I worked with, like some of the other teachers. For the most part, there's some really good teachers, but there's some ones that are just, oh man, it's like there's this one lady. Man, this lady must have been a teacher since I was a kid. She's really, really old school, and this lady is like, I don't know. I don't think she's ever going to retire. She's going to be like, I don't know if you guys ever seen the Disney Afternoon back in the 90s. There was an episode of Tailspin. Just hear me out for just a brief moment. I'm going to make this too long because I know people don't like me doing long stories all the time. There was this episode where Baloo was supposed to send the mail out, first class mail, or like overnight air mail or priority mail or whatever, right? He doesn't do that. Him and Cloud Kicker decide to take the money that Rebecca gave him to buy like Coney Island loaded with onions and, like French fries and stuff like that. So he ends up buying all this stuff and he's like, oh, it's fine. We'll still have enough money to cover it. And she won the lottery basically. So anyway, he makes a big mistake and he only has like, I don't know, like something like 13 cents left. Right. And he has to mail this thing. So in the cartoon, it shows him mailing it instead of getting it sent by first class mail. Cause it's a cartoon. It's just hilarious. What happens is he ends up sending it like 97th class mail. And it shows this guy like in the depths of like a basement. And he hasn't mailed a single letter in like the last 100 years or something like that. And he's got like dust all over him. And he's just still working at the place. And he's just, he's still waiting. I mean, he's kind of like, what's his name with the red stapler? But anyways, this guy's just drenched with dust all over him. And finally, this piece of mail comes in. And, so then he gets the mail, but he's like a sloth. And he's trying to like pedal, to get to where he needs to be. But the mail needs to get there. And this guy's moving slower than the deadline. So Cloud Kicker and Baloo are trying to help him. Like, come on, man, you got to get over there. And the guy's got like bifocal lenses, like not even bifocals, like 100 focals or whatever. And I don't know. It's just it was a funny, great cartoon. I will never forget that. And it reminds me of this teacher. God bless her, but like she's probably going to never retire, and she's probably going to be teaching until she's like 90 or something. I mean, I'm not kidding. This teacher has been teaching like probably since the time I was a kid, and I'm 42, so that should say something. Anyway, you know what I mean? So give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, I have nothing against her personally, but this lady's kind of hard boiled. All right, Mr. Hump Not Dump, aka Crypto Winner, says, "What's up, guys? Take profit. Bitcoin is about to drop 80% next month." Mr. Market Maker, you ain't your Mr. Market Maker, Mr. Badir, but glad to have you back. Mr. Market Maker is taking liquidity. That's in the 28,500. Hold on a second. I got a grumpy old man in the background. This is what happens when you hit 80, almost 89 years old. I guess he heard somebody getting dusted off. So just give me a second. All right. Brittany says, Max, you were a great teacher. Thank you, Brittany. Well, I always appreciate you and your great comments. How about that? Thank you. All right. Elon Musk states, not the market maker again. Yeah, I know, right? That's like, Mr. Hump Not Dump, aka Crypto Winner, who took my advice and waited and bought quant. That's a good point. I will give credit where credit's due. You did call that. Larry, you buy that pogo stick yet? Oh boy, I don't know about that. All right. Anyway, you got a new picture, huh? Don't you? Oh yeah, you in the rear view. That's interesting. All right. I think a few more comments that came in, and let's see where we're at. Let's see. Max, what are your thoughts on Caspa? I already read that one. I want to welcome Mr. OG Crypto. Glad to have Mr. OG Crypto, original gangster crypto. Mr. OG, Mr. Gangster. Why don't you tell us about the days of way back? Slaying hard on the boulevard with the crypto going hard, right? Something like that. I don't know. I got to stop doing it. All right. GT, I don't like that, man. I must get to know him better. Abraham Lincoln. Great quotes. Glitching the Matrix. Is this the one and only Grizzly Bear Greg, formerly known as Grizzly Bear? I think because the avatar, but might be some of the same avatar. Welcome back or welcome. Glitching Matrix. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Glad to have you here. All right. I'll just read a couple more comments. And let's see here. Where are we at? That's a fancy wife beater. Hey, man, people got to do what they got to do. In the past few weeks, the PayPay token has the cryptocurrency space by storm. This seemingly harmless meme coin has managed to consume staggering 5,300 ETH, approximately 10 million a week. Ooh, boy. That's interesting. JDat, welcome. If I didn't mention your name before, welcome. All right. Let's see where we're at. Blackwood says Jay Clayton's bold as F. Talks like he had nothing to do with the ish storm he caused. The balls must be massive on this dude. Yeah, no homo, but yes. Anyway. All right. Henry Brown, welcome back, man. $3 super sticker. Appreciate you, Mr. Henry Brown. All right. Let's get back into what we have, because if we don't, it will be WrestleMania. Maybe you guys want WrestleMania, but it's not going to be WrestleMania tonight. Just giving you guys a heads up. NBA Finals start on Thursday, and I wasn't here yesterday because I wanted to watch Game 7 at Eastern Conference Finals. But anyway, let's get into what we have. All right. So let's see where we're at on comments, everything. Make sure I didn't skip anything else. I think we're good. All right. Fist bump. Okay, cool stuff. All right, so let's jump into what we have. And I think on this next part, I think it might be Jasmine. Let's see what we got. So I believe it is. Yes, it is. Let's get into this. All right, here we go. So I want to give a shout out to, again, the one and only Mr. OG Crypto. Okay. So OG Crypto sent me a DM earlier today, and he was basically like, hey, check this out. So again, shout out to Mr. OG Crypto, Mr. Gangsta. He's going to tell us about the days of way back. You know what that's quoted from? The great Daz Dillinger from the DPG. Hence DPG Maximus. That's right. All right. Let's get back to being on topic. So it was in regards to this big announcement. Okay. This comes straight from Hara. It is big. I'll try to blow it up just a tad bit more, because why not? So, he, I think, tweeted this out either late last night or early this morning. I mean, you got to keep in mind there's a time difference, right, for Japan and so on. So, excuse me. He says, we are pleased to announce the launch of the Evita blockchain PC with Jasmine's blockchain network at Computex Taipei in Taiwan. My parents have been to Taipei, actually. They went there for part of their honeymoon back in 1977. So we are delighted to finally be able to expand globally. Please feel free to contact us for orders and test use cases. And, we're going to pull this up in a second, but look at this. Look at this. Boom. All Evita PCs are blockchain applications ready, right? And you know what? It's like some people, how is Jasmine token needed in this? Well, he says, not yet. The next step is the combined wallet. And here's the key thing. Hara has mentioned this in previous AMAs about this whole concept, right? Like, this guy says this is huge. If we were investing in Jasmine, which he is, he looked into Evita and understand why this is major. It's not just Jasmine. It's Jasmine's secure PC solution that's being used by Evita blockchain technology. Yes, but we're also going to get to the point where you got to understand that, like, all the utility as far as the actual token and all this stuff, it's going to come into full fruition. And I'm glad that Hara, in his own way, is going to get around to mentioning that. But guys, I mean, come on. What's there not to understand that, this is a big moment, to say the least. So we're going to jump into this article real quick. Unless he has a typo. Hold on a second. I think maybe he does. Let me see. I think he does have a typo. I want to be able to pull it up. Oh, there we go. It's comes from Hong Kong. All right, let's pull this up for a second. So I'm going to switch on the tab. For some reason, it's not coming over. That's strange. Let me do a stop share then. Hold on. I'm going to try to share it again. Please smash that like if you haven't done so already, guys. Let's see if we can tick back up to the 50s. It'll be great. All right. Okay, I see what's going on. It looked like it was on a different page. All right, I think we're fine on this. And I don't know if I need to keep blowing it up. I think that might be big enough. Yeah. All right, so here it is. The launch of Evita blockchain PC with the rise of Web3. On this part, I will blow it up a little bit more because it's kind of small in the writing. All right. All Evita PCs are blockchain applications ready. Be secured is what it says. Be productive anywhere, anytime. So, it says Evita Technologies International Company Limited today announced the launch of the world's first Evita blockchain PC, running on Windows OS platform with the vision of transforming the company into an innovative IT and IoT solution and fintech service provider under the trend of Web3. Blockchain technology, as we know, and cryptocurrency, like it mentions. Evita blockchain PC is designed for the seamless mobile laptop experience to provide a smooth and convenient mobile computing experience, ensuring that users can use their laptops in a secure and comfortable setting anywhere and anytime with the benefits of blockchain technology. I mean, that in itself sounds what? Innovative, like it did on my last deep dive. All Evita laptop models are blockchain applications ready together, and for people who are like, is it going to say Jasmine? Like, my God, just hold your horses, don't panic. Yes, boom, a few times it mentions it. So it says together with Jasmine Secure PC solution for users who demand high security and privacy, Evita blockchain PC is your choice of laptop. Jasmine Secure PC solution showcases the capabilities of Evita laptops as blockchain-ready devices. Evita blockchain PC is equipped to perform blockchain-related applications or tasks securely and smoothly. Now, listen to this for just a brief moment. I know I'm reading a lot verbatim, but hear me out. It says individual software providers supported by Jasmine Incorporated, Jasmine Secure PC solution, Jasmine, like you see right here. This technology uses cryptography to secure the data. It makes data immutable and unhackable as to eliminate the possibility of data loss. Now, think about this for a moment. Some people are going to say, yeah, right. But if you also understand, there's a difference between the old way of going about things, like, for instance, a Dell computer that doesn't have, like a blockchain PC or some of the security. That is where this provides the supply and demand, if you will. I think there's going to be in the future, here soon, a tremendous amount of supply and demand for these specific PCs, because we do want to eventually jump to the new era of, this concept of Web3. When people mention Web3, I mean, like, I think most people don't really, I guess, understand it. Maybe a lot of us do, because like we're into cryptocurrency, blockchain, understanding the use cases of DLT and so on. But my key thing is, like, would I realistically, if I was a business and we had mass adoption, okay, am I really going to, let's say hypothetically, I own a call center. You're going to try to tell me I'm going to go with the contract at Dell, right? Don't get me wrong. Maybe Dell in the future does, go with blockchain PCs, and maybe it's not necessarily Jasmine. Maybe there'll be another competitor in the future. We have to be real. But you're going to tell me that I'm going to go with, the old traditional approach of just like, dude, you're getting a Dell PC. No, I'm going to go with the new innovative thing that is going to eliminate the possibility of data loss, is going to store, data across multiple nodes in a decentralized network, is going to ensure data is secure, immutable, right? Some of the things that like Gilbert Verdian has basically mentioned. Like it says, it revolutionizes the way we store and manage data. And on top of that, you already have some of these contracts, like look into Transcosmos and so on. Everything is literally written not only on the wall, but in the white paper, for crying out loud, on the pathway forward of what they're trying to accomplish with these computers and so on. I don't really know of, unless I'm missing the boat, maybe I am. I don't know of any other company that are doing this concept of smart PCs. And in that deep dive I brought you guys in regards to Kunitake Ando, sharing the stage with the one and only Steve Jobs of Apple, where they talk about, they're competitors, but they work together. Okay. Like, the way I look at it is Kunitake Ando, he's up there in the age now, right? Like, I think he's like 80 or something like that. But you better believe he wants to leave a legacy behind. And, there's something to be said about like this itch that needs to be scratched for some of these CEOs, whether it is Kunitake Ando, the Sony pass, whether it is Elon Musk, with like what he was trying to do with PayPal in the past. At any moment's time, Elon Musk could basically come out with an announcement. Let's face it, right? I don't necessarily think it's going to be Dogecoin, but you never know. But it could very well be like XRP. XRP is going to be used as a payment method for like Twitter. That's the next step forward for Twitter holders, if you will. That'd be massive news. I mean, if we saw Floki go up like 120% like a couple months ago, because he named Floki his new CEO, and then boom, there was a big pump. Or he just simply tweets out about Pepe, and there's a big massive pump. Or was it the other one, Milady, and there's a big pump. You better believe that XRP, for instance, would just fly off the rails, to say the least, because it has a real world use case. Now, I know we're talking about Jasmine, but here's the thing. All right, let's jump back to this. We were talking about Web3. Look what's mentioned here for a brief moment. Web3 offers a range of benefits compared to traditional Web 2.0 platforms. I was giving you some examples. It says, due to its decentralized architecture and use of blockchain technology, Web3 is designed to be more secure and resistant to hacking and other security threats. How so? Well, look what it says. Web3 platforms often implement encryption by default for all communications, providing enhanced privacy and confidentiality. The elimination of intermediaries in Web3 can also reduce costs for users and businesses, making information and technology more accessible. Additionally, Web3 provides users with greater control over their data and interactions due to its peer-to-peer architecture. Overall, these technical benefits of Web3 have the potential to transform the way we use and access information on the internet while providing a more secure and private environment for users and their data. Well, how about, for instance, the personal data locker? Like, again, maybe over here in the United States, I should say maybe, it is reality. We don't really value our data. We should be, but we just freely give it away. It kind of makes you wonder about some of the things that we freely have given away. I'm not gonna get into the whole, First Amendment thing, but there's that. There's all sorts of things of like things we just freely give away. In Japan, they're not looking to freely give away their data. If anything, they're looking to preserve it. What kind of value does that basically have? I want to show you guys this brief part before we kick it back in the comments. It says whether, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says whether it is personal or corporate use, protecting the privacy to avoid data leakage is essential. Evita blockchain PC enables you to visualize and optimize your PC's activity and performance, allowing you to stay focused on your task and increase productivity. So it's one thing about like the whole notion of, Jasmine secure PC, personal data lockers, and so on. Okay, that sounds great, right? But you also got to keep in mind, this is an area of the world where they're all about production. They're all about, getting the most done with what you have, right? Well, if you have something that's going to, optimize your activity and performance, allowing you to focus on your tasks and increase productivity, that's a win all the way around, not just for a security point of view. All right. How about this? Let's go further down to this part right here. This right here where it says, where the heck is this? Evita. Oh, here it is. Evita blockchain PC leverages the characteristics of blockchain technology to ensure maximum security. This is particularly useful for users who often work remotely. Remember, they put so much emphasis on this whole concept of working remotely, especially due to the pandemic, right? The people of Japan have definitely recognized that. And the need to minimize the chance of data leakage, even with their laptop is not nearby or is lost Additionally, Evita Blockchain PC provides cost-effective, lightweight remote management tool for IT administrators to keep track of the status of personal PC devices and maintain a smooth digital working environment. Now, here's one of the areas I want you guys to put a little focus on to it. Maybe you haven't watched some of the deep dives, and that's okay, but just know this. There's a company, it's called Transcosmos, and they have a specific contract with Jasmine in regards to having their smart PCs or smart PCs, secure PCs. I call it smart PCs, secure PCs. At these data centers, or not data centers, call centers all over the place. I work part time at a data center, so I naturally say that sometimes. So at these call centers all around different Asian countries and so on, how neat is it that with this new product line going international with Jasmine, secure PCs and so on, that contract for these call centers are using this technology. We always talk about like this cryptocurrency or that cryptocurrency. What is the utility and who is using the utility? Well, boom, there you go. Can you imagine? I should say, can you imagine? It's going on as we speak. Like, for instance, years ago, I used to work at Best Western. Their contract, for instance, at their call center here in the Phoenix area was for Dell. And I'm always using the example of Dell. Well, Dell Technologies, or Dell Computers, I should say, that's a big contract to basically have, I imagine, because they're buying in bulk. You buy in bulk, you get all these computers, you supply it to all your workers and so on at the call centers. It's a similar type of thing with Jasmine and Transcosmos. That is absolutely big. And on top of that, to get a testimonial, right, from these call centers or from the people that are working in these call centers using these secure PCs of, you want to know something? I have my workers more on task, and we are not wasting time. We are getting things done better. I don't have to pay a team of IT guys to focus all their efforts on, oh God, we had a data leakage or we had a hack and so on. You will eliminate some of these factors and are able to focus at what, guys? The work on hand. Think about how much time, is involved in this. As the saying goes, time is money, but security also equals to saving that time and saving that money. All right, I'm going to get back into the comments. Glad to share you guys this. I think we have a little bit more in regards to Jasmine, but glad to basically mention that. All right, we're going to get further down to the comments. OG Crypto says, is passive income is king, everybody. Humpty, welcome back. CZ slip up in an interview said, if you read between the lines, he said meme coins are put out to study sociologically. God, I can't pronounce anything right now. How people feel about spending money. Okay. I think somebody sent me something about that, so we'll try to jump into that. All right. Henry Brown, welcome again. That was at 7:30. About 23 minutes ago. Mark William, welcome back. I have all my crypto on a ledger, Nano X. What would you advise on taking profits? Best to convert to USDT. Love the channel, by the way. Oh, thank you. So the way I look at it is like this, right? So for me personally, one way like I would take profits, and it's a different way of going about it. But I said to myself, look, I know that I am going to get hit with taxes. Taxes something fierce. As the saying goes, you only get hit with the taxes when you decide to transfer this into fiat and put it into like a checking or savings account. If you are wanting to be the type of person which, because there is no, how should I say this? There is nothing necessarily written to say you can't do it this way. It's not financial advice, it's not tax advice either, but it's just the way I've personally done it in the past. Well, you can, for instance, take your profits, swap to, for instance, Tether or Circle, which are one you prefer. We all have preferences and so on. Or you just decide to hold on Ledger, or, some people still do the centralized exchange route, right? We can agree to disagree on that. But the point is, it's just long as it's not transferred into fiat to your checking account, then you cannot get hit with the taxes on that yet. And then you could take advantage, like I've always said, people like have some fiat on hand to take advantage of sales. But it's so much better to already have it primed and ready to go, if you will. You get what I'm saying? For you don't have to necessarily, because I mean, let's think about it, guys. How many times are we getting taxed on things? So if we, like me back in 2021, yes, I got taxed, but like I also learned the hard way, like, you know what? I probably should just keep a whole bunch, where I can just like, have it primed and ready to go, because it's not going to fluctuate in price. Hence why it's a stable coin. And then you do have it primed and ready to go. You don't have to get taxed, because if you move it to fiat, yes, you have bills to pay. I get that, but you move it into fiat, then you move it to the checking account or savings account, wherever you're doing. So you're getting taxed on that. And then what? A few months come by or go, and then you like, oh, okay, I need to move it back. Well, then what's going to happen from there, guys? You're going to get hit with a fee, right, to move it back to the exchange to buy it and so on. And then from there, are you really going to be like, oh, I made profits, so I'm going to put it back in my checking? Now I get taxed again? No. Better just, in my opinion, just to have prime and ready to go. And then, of course, there's always going to be the time where, we got to take it and do whatever with it and so on. But my thing is, as far as my advice on taking profits, you got to do what's best for you. But I mean, I would say for the most part, I would take profits on the way up when it comes to a lot of these cryptocurrencies. There's only a few. For me personally, please don't have the same attitude that like this is what you got to do too. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I mean, like for me, Quant, XRP, some of these other ones and so on are ones that are like marry, if you will, because I'm looking to like hold those for very, very long term for that generational wealth. But I see us getting interest on it, and we already gotten a taste of this. How do we know that we've already gotten a taste of this? Basically speaking, hope there's something not burning. Basically speaking, it's like, how should I put it? Sorry, I smelled something. It was just like, let me see what, I don't want my dad to burn something. Hold on a second. All right, I thought the microwave was on or something like that, because like he's absolutely nuked some things in there and it's just like turned into like a cinder block. But anyway, I was losing my train of thought in regards to this, but my thing is like, yes, if you look at KuCoin as we speak, they have a pairing for Ripple's XRP with a certain amount of USDT. Now I haven't taken advantage of that, but it was something I was thinking of like, you know what, staking on that is roughly, I think it was like 42 or 48%. That sounds very attractive. It sounds attractive for people that love staking. It's not attractive to the people that understand, like, I don't want to be doing staking. I don't trust centralized exchanges. I don't care if they're giving me 100%. I don't want people to be in control of my XRP. So as the saying goes, it's a double-edged sword, if you will. And I get that. But at the same time, in the future, with that clarity, right? And we should definitely have the clarity at some point, not necessarily this year or next, but we get that clarity. You better believe there's going to be things in place or insurance policies, if you will, to prevent things like Terra Luna or FTX and so on, in which a lot of people will trust the system of whatever that is in place to be able to earn interest. And I mean, if XRP is like, God, $10,000 in XRP, and I could earn even just 10% yield on that? Are you kidding me? I mean, like, depending on how much XRP you're on, that's probably better than winning the lottery and getting paid, 2% on a savings account based off your, whatever that bank is paying you, because they don't pay hardly anything nowadays. There used to be a time back in the 90s where you could get like up to 6%. I remember that, like family members would say, oh man, it'd be so cool to win a Powerball. I wouldn't be an idiot. Basically I would, what's the rule of thumb that you mentioned? If I could just clear $1 million, I could earn 6%, and then that would be $60,000 a year off of interest. Sounds good. In reality, do those days exist anymore? Not really. So, with where we can go with regulatory clarity in the future, I honestly think that's a thing. And that, of course, has been mentioned by Verson Alarja. That's been mentioned by Lewis Jackson, Crypto Lulu, a few other guys. And it's basically, that's where it's at. It's like, that leads to the case of marrying your XRP or so on. Will most people do that? I think the answer is no. I think most people will probably take their profits on the way up, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And some people, on paper or in front of a camera or whatever, are going to say, "Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm gonna wait." It depends on the person's situation. Crazy things could happen in which person's just like, "Nah, I need that money now," and to hell with what people think. It's one of those things. All right, we're gonna go further down to the comments. Let me see here. Blackwood, this is towards Mark William, but this is good. He says, please consider diversifying your assets into multiple wallets from other brands. Eggs in one basket is risky. It is. Truth on that. All right, Nelly there. Welcome back. He says, sup, Max? How are your fam? He's doing all right. He's just kind of, you get old, you get grumpy. So I have been missing in action. I wonder what happened to you. Got my Twitter account back after a few years. Cool. Well, give me a follow at DPG Maximus. You can follow Larry if you choose to do so. Just you got to keep in mind. I mean, nothing against Larry. I mean, he might not get around to, in a timely manner, of viewing your tweet. All right. Crypto Winner. Anything under 10K, I keep on the exchange. We all need liquidity. If we all took all our coins out, man, the market would be boring. That's a good point. Boomer F is Sooners welcoming Nelly. You guys are all welcome Nelly. When you all welcome Nelly, you should play the actual Nelly song, right? Country Grammar. Going down, down, baby. All right. Let me see where we're at. Actually, yeah, that's pretty good, Max. Well, my dad's Dillinger. Mr. Gangster. Let me tell you about the days of way back. All right. I don't know. I think Daz is a very underrated producer. He did a really good job on the Doggy Style album. To me personally, the only great Snoop Dogg album is the Doggy Style album. Why? Because it's co-produced by Dr. Dre and Daz Dillinger. Say what you want, Daz Dillinger was one hell of a producer. He doesn't get enough credit. We'll leave it at that. Get back to crypto, Max. All right. Hump, not dump. Jasmine has been making noise for the last 2 years. It might be its time. I think it is its time. Jeffrey Shea, Max, can you do a deep dive into render? I've been thinking about that. I've been getting some, I shouldn't say requests, but I think a few people have been mentioning it often. No guarantees, but it is, I'm leaning towards doing it. I might do that. How about this? I'll do maybe an intro. All right. Not necessarily a deep dive, but like a brief intro. Some people are like, ha, Max, your intros are deep dives because you go over an hour on your deep dives. So I'm looking forward to it. Well, whatever you want to call it. But thank you, Jeffrey Shea. I'm glad you're a HBAR holder. Right on. OG Crypto, Max, as far as what I am aware of or from what I've learned, those laptops will be distributed and sold throughout China and Japan to start. I'm not sure the connection to the U.S. at the moment. Well, even if there wasn't a connection with the U.S., that is big in itself. I mean, that's a lot of people, and those are some big contracts. I mean, here's the thing. Some people may look at what you mentioned, Max, with Transcosmos. Who cares? Who cares? Really? Understand this. If you're a big business and you want to, for one, you want to save money on overhead, why wouldn't you want to understand the whole concept of Jasmine and Transcosmos? If you don't understand the whole thing of Transcosmos, understand this. Transcosmos has been around in Japan, I believe, since 1966. I think it is 66. Since the LB, Lyndon Baines Johnson administration. Are you kidding me? Yeah, they've been around that long, right? So okay, that tells me that they're going to be, they've been around that long. They're still going to be around. All right. So they got that contract going on with, Jasmine. All right. All Jasmine needs is Transcosmos to just blanket some areas on these contracts. Call center after call center after call center after call center. How about this? And I do impersonations. I'm I'm from back in the day where people want to get so darn offended about this stuff, but let's face it, not a lot of people like the whole idea. This is not, this is me being real. I have a lot of friends that are like from India as well, so they think it's funny. They don't get their panties in a bunch, but it's like, we call Dell customer service. You get that guy on the phone. He's just like, "Hello, my name is Chapu. Thank you for calling Dell customer service." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, my computer don't work." I mean, I'm not that guy, but people, have problems. All right. What I need you to do is I need you to restart the computer. All right. How about this? Instead of having that guy, it's literally, like, hello, and thank you for calling Jasmine customer service. We here for your Jasmine secure PC. But where are you calling? You're calling a guy in, I don't know, not necessarily Tokyo, Japan, or something like that, or it could be that region of the world. But the point is, instead of Dell, we're calling a call center that is for Evita blockchain PCs, secure PCs, powered by or provided by Jasmine technology. Oh my God. You know how much of a game changer that is? That is a huge game changer. So why everybody's complaining about, like, let's just say everybody, not necessarily us, I think it's a blessing in disguise when it comes to the price. But that's why I decided, like, oh my goodness, like, I got to make Jasmine my priority as far as like putting more money into it. And I did, like, I have 500,000 of these things. My goal is 1 million, right? It's like, I want to eventually set something up like kind of like what Salamander does with his XTC. It's like, maybe not to necessarily that degree, but like by making having 1 million of these things, then yes, like at $1, I mean, shoot, man, you're a millionaire. But for me, it's like, I see the writing on the wall. I think it's going to be worth a lot more than $1. All right. So if I have at least 1 million of these and it goes up to $2.5, 2.5 million, yeah, I probably would take some profits, probably at least keep a bag of it and so on. But I really think that Jasmine is going to be huge. And I was watching some interviews, right? So I can't really like share this with you guys where it makes sense, but Kunitake Ando, I was deep diving into some of the things he's part of. So he's part of like this club where some former Sony executives or people that work with Sony, and they're paying honor and tribute to a guy who passed away in 1999. I can't remember the guy's exact name, but he was like the biggest legend for Sony ever. Steve Jobs also basically, paid homage to him and recognized like when he passed away. I know that Jobs passed away some time ago from cancer, but the point was like everybody in Japan recognizes him, especially like the big leader, even from like, what was it? Hitachi and some other brands, JVC, this guy from Sony. The key thing is this: Kunitake Ando and some of these other guys, like they'll do these exclusive interviews, and it's all in Japanese, right? And I watch it in the subtitles, and it's hard to, get. Man, something is smoking up in here. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. The kitchen's on fire. I have to go. See you guys.